What up, guys? Jason Guyman here with King of Pressure Wash, and tonight we're going to talk about what is the number one fatal mistake for people to not grow their business. And so, with that, that's what I'm going to talk about. Hopefully, I make it all night. I don't feel the best. I just got back from Gatlinburg with Christmas lights, and I don't know what I ate last night or something, but it didn't agree with me, and I was pretty much out and down for the day, but I've got a little bit of energy, and I was like, you know what? I'm coming on here to see how you guys are doing and what we can do to help you grow your business. And so that is what we are going to talk about tonight. And one of the biggest failures, I see a lot of new people, I know there's a lot of new people getting into pressure washing business. And one of the failures is I'm going to hit on what is that number one failure where people get in trouble by not doing one thing or doing one thing. And this is what I'm going to hit on for you tonight. So, before we get started here, I see we got several people on. This is not going to be a very long thing that I'm going to talk about. So if you have questions about pressure washing, about marketing, about quoting, about business, put it in the comments so I can answer your questions and get your questions answered. Again, what I have to talk about tonight is going to be very brief, but I want to answer your questions if you have questions, because we are getting ready to be in the busy season, right? This week and next, it's getting warm and it's hitting in the 60s and 70s, and that means the grass is getting ready to be mowed here shortly. And are you ready for the business? And so that is what I want to hit on also. So if you have any questions, I know a lot of times the big question is when will the phone start blowing up? And I always say when you first mow the grass. Once people start mowing the grass regularly, that is when we want to do this here. Took your advice about being afraid to charge family and friends full price, and I sent a large estimate to them. Still waiting for a reply, but it's nice to get over the hump. I read the description. It's exactly what I did. I regret it for sure. I have 28,000 reasons to regret it. But you know what? It's a learning experience, and that is the thing that we learn from our mistakes, and that's what we get to do by that. Mr. Big Time in the house, how are you doing? We got Belle. Good evening, everyone. Hope you're feeling better. Hey guys, gearing up wash this week. Ohio is actually warmer this week. I know it's pretty cool, isn't it? What's up, guys? From Seizure. How important is branding? That's a great question. How important is branding? And yes, the weather was hot, got burned at the soccer field. I can believe that. So, how important is branding? Branding can definitely be very important, but a lot of people don't always think of what branding is. They think it's their logo, they think whatever that is, and that is not always the case of what branding is, right? A lot of times we think branding is my logo. Branding goes way beyond just our logo. Branding is one that it can be the way you talk, it can be the way you post. When I say my pleasure, that's a branding, right? You already know that that's Chick-fil-A. And so that is branding. Or you see a cow, that's for the chicken place, right? That is branding. Yes, the logo is some, but it's a whole thing what branding is. And so that's what I always like to put that for that. So again, if you have any questions, ask your questions. I want to answer your questions. But before we get going on here too much, the number one mistake I see a lot of people get into is they go buy brand new 40, 20,000, 30,000, $40,000. And a lot of you go into debt to get this. And they're like, well, we're going to just pay it off eventually, right? And the question of it is if you go and buy a $20,000, $30,000 rig and you put it on payments, the likelihood of you paying it off before, let's say, October, November, when the payments come due and there's no money, this is where a lot of people fail. And so, they say that in 3 years, the likelihood of businesses failing is over 50%. So I don't want you to fail within 3 years. I want you to be successful. And so for you to be successful, there's things that you can do to grow your business, right? And so a lot of times we think that, this equipment is going to get me jobs. And that is the biggest lie that you've ever been told. If you think equipment's going to get you jobs, it's not going to get you jobs. If you think a website is going to get you jobs, it's not going to get you jobs either, right away. I can show you some really nice websites that people have paid $5,000 for, and it doesn't bring nothing into them, right? And so when you start thinking about this, this is why I tell people go out and get customers. You can literally rent equipment. You can rent a 4-gallon minute pressure washer and go do these jobs on the weekend. You can start off with a small pressure washer, right? All you need is a pressure washer, 4-gallon a minute or higher, I recommend, and a downstream injector. And I would get you 200 feet of pressure wash hose and 150 feet of garden hose. And with that right there, you literally can clean everything except roofs. And if you want to be like my boy in New York that goes and does roof cleanings with pump up sprayer, he does. And you might think, well, you can't make $100,000 if I just have this. I promise you can. The guy in New York did $160,000 with a 4-gallon a minute pressure washer, a couple hundred feet of hose, and a downstream injector and a pump up sprayer. And so if you think you need all of this equipment, a lot of people want to get to 100,000, they want to get to 1,000,000. And your big numbers, if your bottom number of profit isn't in the positive of 20-30%, and that's not paying you for all the jobs that you do, then that's a problem, right? And so this is why it is important that we don't fall into this trap of buying this high dollar rig. I know it looks neat and I know it looks amazing, but I promise you it will definitely keep you from doing it. Now, I'm not saying you never buy new equipment. You start growing, you making a couple $100,000 a year, and you want to start adding trucks, and that's a whole different ball game. When I started out, I literally started out with about a $2,000, $3,000 rig that I had piecemeal together to get this, right? The truck that I posted on here, that was like truck 4 before I actually started looking like that, right? I had one truck and it had the utility bed on it. And of course, it was a Ford, so the injectors went out of it. And so when one injector went out, that was $2,500. And another injector went out, and that was another $3,000. And then finally, I got rid of the truck because I got tired of putting $2,000-$3,000 into it every couple months for injectors. And so this is why I teach that I don't buy diesels, right? Because if you like paying lots of money coming in, that is where you can do that. But yeah, so these are things that I want you to avoid making big investments, taking loans out, and all it's going to do is put you in a bad situation come June or come September, October, November when no money's coming in. And now you got to see that's why a lot of times you see a lot of these rigs up for sale pretty cheap because they're just trying to get it. Some things that you can do, start serving your customers, right? Give exceptional customer service. Do the things you talk about branding. That's part of branding. Do you answer the phone on ring 1 or do you answer the phone on ring 4 or do you answer the phone at negative rings, right? You just put them to voicemail. That's branding. Do you let them know that you're coming? Do you do all the things that set you apart from your competitors? And in reality, that is what branding is what we can do to set ourselves apart from our competitors. you might think, well, Jason, I just can't do that. But you can. That's the good thing about you don't need these, is an 8 gallon machine nice? Sure it is. But is it needed? No, it's not. It's not needed. Will you be able to get jobs done faster? Sure. Are you doing 3 to 4 jobs a day right now? No, then why are you worried about getting done faster then? Because you can't add another job anyway. So that's where you're kind of at for this anyway. So again, pay off your equipment. The best thing you can be is debt free. There's no other better thing than being debt free. When you start getting into debt, that's what's going to start hurting you. That's what's going to make you go out of business because it's going to just keep piling up before you know. So bite off only what you can chew equipment wise. First, don't be going crazy on all of your equipment and stuff. He's talking about me with diesels, 13 grand yesterday. So DJ got him a really good deal on a piece of crap. He got him a Ford, that was the first part, and he got him a heck of a deal. He paid like 10 grand for this piece of crap. And so from there, last year, I think he put about 10 or 15,000 in it, and now he put another 13,000 in it. So a $10,000 piece of crap ended up being about $35,000 piece of crap. And it's still a piece of crap because it's a Ford. And so that's what happens when you don't listen to your good buddy Jason and you just got it in your head for whatever reason. And DJ is one of my best friends, so I'm allowed to give him crap. What's up, Tristan? How are you doing? All right. So again, if you all have questions, ask questions. I want to hear your questions. I will answer your questions. It is, again, I just wanted to hit on, I see a lot of equipment for sale. I see people pushing equipment, and I don't want you all to do something stupid to put you out of business before you ever get started. And that's all. Do I sell equipment? No, I don't. Actually, I'm going to go build a piece of equipment though. I'm going to, and equipment's not cheap. We just bought a 5.5 gallon and a whole gas rig system with the remote, and it's like 9 grand. Do you need that to get started? No, but this is his 4th year in business. He did over $300,000 last year. He's wanting to add another truck, and I'm going to build it for him. And so this is how you can, this is what it is. Yes. Let's see. Checking in from Houston. Are people mowing lawns yet? That's when we can launch ads. And no, people are not mowing yards yet. It's just when people start mowing yards, that's when you're going to start getting the phone calls. And so hopefully it don't rain too much. You want some rain because you want it to start growing, but you want to be able to get them out there on the weekend. So you hope that it doesn't rain on the weekend. So that way they can go out and see their dirty houses on the weekend. And that's the way that you can start cleaning their houses. And that's when your phone will start ringing. That's when you want to start running ads. That's when you're going to want to start putting your yard signs. That's when you're going to really ramp up your marketing. And so I noticed today that it is getting pretty tall. And so a day like today was beautiful. And so tomorrow, your phone may start ringing off of tomorrow. Today was 65 degrees and sunny. And so that means people are outside looking at their dirty houses. So this weekend, they're probably going to start making your phone ring. So that's just something to start thinking about as we are moving forward in the spring. Again, it is early in March, and so you don't know what April and May may bring, but usually you can start in March as long as the weather allows. If we get a bunch of rain in March, then that's going to hurt you a little bit, but that is what it is. So again, I just want to hit on some things before I get too far into this. Obviously, if you want to go check out King of Pressure Wash, if you are starting a Christmas or pressure washing business, I have everything you need in there. I have a whole blog full of all kinds of stuff. I have the membership where you can get the websites and you can get one-on-one coaching with me. Well, it ain't one-on-one. It's group coaching on Monday nights. And so that is definitely. Also, I do have a couple in-person pressure washing trainings. You can go check out the dates for KPW Train. This is actual hands-on training. This is where you get to hold the gun. And day 2 is all about marketing and growing your business. Day 2 is the most important day of how to get business, but day 1 is definitely a hands-on training. All right. So, Mr. Sterling, hey, want to hear something funny I heard tonight? 2 of my local competitors decided to merge and are coming after me. That's so funny because there's so much out there. Why? I wonder who those 2 are. So, people worry about going after people like Sterling Wash, right, Michael? There is so much business out there. All you're going to do is hurt yourself. That's all you're going to do. And you've been in business for 10 years, or I don't know, it's been a long time. And it's one of those things that people just don't get, right? In fact, it's probably going to hurt them more than it's probably going to help you more than it's going to hurt you in the end. So there's plenty of work out there. Don't think that there's not enough work out there. Hey everybody, how's it going? Indiana Power Clean. And again, if you all have any questions, pressure washing questions, marketing questions, quoting questions, ask your questions because I want to answer your questions. Looking to purchase the Honda 3 GX390 with the 5.5 Comet pump. Any words on this unit? Is it worth the $300 to $400 for the electric start? I like the electric start. You don't have to have it, but you do. If you don't have it, you need to make sure that you're putting it somewhere that you can pull the pull handle. I'm lazy and I like the electric start, but if it is going to make it go up a couple $100, I would definitely check around to see. I know that Russ at Southside Equipment, I think he's got one for like $2,200, I think, with electric start. But that's, like I say, you just got to call around, check around, and see where you can find it at and who has it in stock. Clean many of small roofs with just a pump up sprayer. It's annoying but effective and it makes money. What's up? How are you doing, Facebook user? Tristan. Teak. What's up, DJ? Sorry to hear that. Oh, he don't listen. Rick Moosey, what's up? Yep. I haven't started advertising yet, and the repeat customers are already blowing up the phone, wanting to be first in line. And so this is a good point for this here. A lot of times we have these amazing looking CRMs, Jobber, Marquette, it doesn't matter which one, and they're full of our past customers. And we never touch them once they just sit in this beautiful thing that we're paying $200, $300, $400 a month for. That's not the purpose of a CRM. The purpose of a CRM is so that way you can take those customers and start calling those customers and start texting those customers and start emailing those customers. And I promise you, when you start reaching out to your past customers, you will fill up your calendar. It's an amazing thing how you can do this to fill up your calendar by doing this, right? It's one of those things that if you just don't do it and you got this amazing CRM, it does you no good. It makes you no money. And I want to make you money. And it's not just for new people. This is people that have been in business for years and years and years. I had Benjamin Gregory sent me a message the other day, and he's like, I'm a believer in AI. I sent an email out to 2,500 customers, and within an hour, I had 15 quotes. And by the end of the day, I had 30 quotes. He got 30 quotes from sending out 2,500 emails. That's the power of a CRM. That's what you're supposed to do with the CRM. That's how you get your phone ringing. That's how you keep your schedule busy. That's how you keep growing your business. Those customers already like you. They already know, like, and trust you, and they buy from you already. So they'll buy from you again. They know that you're going to show up. They know you're going to do what you say you're going to do. They know you're going to do an amazing job. So make sure you are calling those customers, you're texting those customers, you're emailing those customers. Yes, you're doing all 3 of those things, and that is what will get you business. and it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't cost you a $10 ad. It doesn't cost you a $30 Google local service charge for a phone call, because you've already done it. You just got to go out there and get it again. And it's amazing how that works. Talk a little bit about hot water burn systems. What's the different styles and options? So one, you got the ones that stand up versus the ones that are vertical. I like the vertical ones. I don't like the stand up ones because water's going to get down in there. You do have the different types of burners. So the starters or the igniters, you can either do 120 or you can do 12 volt. It depends on if you have a generator or not. If you don't have a generator, you're going to want to go with the 12 volt. They don't last usually as long as the 120s, or you may have a little bit more issues with them, but that is something that you can do. It is something that hot water is definitely, if you're doing a lot of concrete cleaning, a lot of gum removal, they are definitely worth that. If you're going to do an 8-gallon a minute, you need an 8-gallon a minute, because otherwise it won't get that hot water hot. The other thing is too is we want to make sure that we don't use hot water on houses. You can use warm water on houses, but you don't want to use hot water on houses. It will melt the siding. I've seen it happen. So that's what I would say about hot water. How do you deal with people who like to nibble after you give a quote and it's acceptable? Nibble equals after quote is given and accepted. Customers like to say, can you also clean ABC and also Y and Z? And yes, I can. It's an extra $150. That's how you handle that. Don't be afraid to give a price out there. It's one of those things that they may not know you can do this. A lot of people don't know that you can do a roof clean, don't know that you do deck clean, don't know that you do this stuff. And so the best way to deal with this is as soon as they say, hey, can you clean that? Sure, I can do that for an extra $50 or $100, $200, right? That's how we handle that. It's one of those things that you just, and really, it should have been quoted in the beginning. Now, if you're not doing in-person quotes, that's hard to do, obviously. But if you're doing in-person quotes, there's no reason that there is not one piece of anything that's not getting clean that you see that's dirty, right? And so if you're doing in-person quoting, you're going to quote everything. You're going to quote the back porch, the pool, the front deck, the roof, the gutters. You're quoting everything. Now, if you're doing it online, then when you get there and they start saying, can you do that? You just give them a price when you say that. Yes, ma'am, we can. That'll be an extra $100, right? And that's how you handle that. Hey, folks, hope everyone is doing well. Mr. Sean, what's up? Is this live? Yes, it is live. You going to go over permanent lighting in class in Cincinnati? I don't know yet. That's a good question. I don't know yet. Can you look over Google Business Profile? It would say press, spray, and shine in Cedartown, Georgia. Yard signs are getting expensive, $4. Who's that from? That sounds a little expensive, but I'm sure everybody's going up. Hey, Jason. But R4 is even at $400, right? That's why your average ticket needs to go up. That's why you need to charge more. You should be at $350, $400 for every job you go out on. So one job is going to buy you 100 yard signs. You take those 100 yard signs, and surely you can get more than one job out of them. Hey, Jason, is the Honda 690 strong enough to push a 12-gallon minute pump? Yes, it is. Sterling is right. There's so much business out there. Ignore your competitor. Do great work and charge premium prices, and you will succeed. From experience, you can make a living by charging more. Yes, but cut your flow in half. Flow Pro, Smart Bypass, or Smart Stream? I would I would the Flow. I have used the Flow Pro. I like the Flow Pro. I know John Hall and his smart bypass. Just make sure it's for the high pressure is the biggest thing. If it's for just cutting like the lines and not actually bypassing it, it doesn't do it. Now, it doesn't matter so much if you're at 4 gallons or less. If when you start getting that 8 gallon a minute, 9 gallon a minute, that's when the big difference of passing that downstream injector. You really don't know a difference from that downstream injector when you're only at 4 gallons a minute, but you do know a big difference when you're at the 8, 10 gallon a minute. When you're at the 10 gallon a minute, it'll shoot an extra 10 feet by not going through that downstream injector. So that's the important because when we're rinsing, right, that's we want the most flow because we want to get that crap off that house fast. When we're spraying the chemical on, it doesn't really matter how fast we put it up there. It's just we got to get it covered. But with rinsing, we really want to get that good flooded coat to get all that crap off of it. Watching while working on a few of our trailers. Got 2 crews going out tonight. Business is booming. New year, let's go. Hit the like button. I agree with him. Let's go, Barry Little. He's killing it. Stopped in for coffee at the gas station and was approached by a couple who both do real estate. They already are on the hook for a fence and deck job. Wrap or lettering works. You got to let people know what you do, right? Contractor versus non-contractor. I don't know what that is. What's your question? Contractor versus non-contractor. I don't know what your question is. Again, if you've got questions, put it down in the chat and I will answer it. Thank the Lord. 70s and the trees are blooming in South Carolina. Get the electric start. Judd's or John's are good. And I would agree with that. And I would agree with get the electric start. It is definitely something that will make things a lot easier for you. Again, the trees are starting to turn. I've seen the flowers starting to come up, which is a good thing. John uses a UTZ still has the best deal on signs. The local places are wanting almost $8 a sign. Yeah, I agree on that. Make sure you go to moneybushes.com. Moneybushes.com. If you want a better deal on yard signs, I've got a place for you. Give me a like. If I can get my likes up, I'll tell you a better place to get yard signs. But you got to get my likes up to 30. We're at 14 thumbs up. We got to get to 30 thumbs up. And I'll give you a better place than UZ Marketing price-wise. Last year, my minimum was $400 and average ticket was $726. This year, it's going to $450 because everything has gone up and the $300 to $400 jobs are going away. Pollen season soon. You know what's funny is a lot of you guys, the pollen season down south, up here we don't get that much. We'll get a little bit of it, but it's not near like what you all get down south. Is it better to get higher paying jobs being a state licensed contractor? Is it better to get, it's always better to get higher paying jobs no matter if you're a state licensed contractor or not. You know, my goal is I want you to get high tickets. That's why I tell you to charge what I tell you to charge, because if you can do half the amount of work, do you want to do 5 $200 jobs or do you want to do 2 $500 jobs, right? I want to do 2 $500 jobs that take me, 2 hours for both versus 5 $200 jobs that takes me 5 hours to do it. So it's definitely why I want to do the higher end jobs. I know. After the work is done, how should the client get more of my other services? Ask. A lot of times you can, obviously we want to get the referral. We want to do this. And then, we're going to let them know. We're going to text them and we're going to send them a message and call them every so often. Hey, Hey, Peter. Hey, John. This is Pete with the pressure washing services, and I was just letting you know these are some other services that we offer. And something that you can do while you're there is mark down what other things they need. Rick on here, he has a whole list of stuff of things that you may need that you didn't know you need, right? And house wash, roof clean, driveway cleaning, driveway sealing, and you can just check what you need, and then you can give them that. And then you can take that back and say, hey, Miss Jones, I seen that we were out there and we seen that your roof needed cleaning. Did you know we did that? We can take away the black streaks and it makes it look brand new. But if you don't do that, and that's stuff that you can put into your CRM, so then that way when you call that customer next year, you can say, you know, when we were out at watching your house, we can wash it again, but we also seen that your roof need clean, that your gutters need clean, and we can also take care of those things for you too. What are you supposed to say to get on a vendor's list when you go to property manager HOA places? What are you supposed to say to get on? You got to ask, how do I get on the vendor's list? Who is the company that you're using for the vendor list, and how do I get on it? Just ask. Most of these people will tell you. And so just go ask, and then once you start finding out, you'll find out that there's probably a lot more places. So when you go into other places, you can say, hey, I'm on your vendor list already, you can use me. And you can use that as a selling point to get on more people's jobs, and then that can also help you get into more people. It's still snow season here. Well, you just keep that up north. Not sure how, but I have a 99 guy in. There's a $99 guy everywhere. My area at 13. Temps were here. I'm at 30 to 40. It's time to go full throttle. I just did my first job for $400, and tomorrow is my second for $350. Good. Start raising it some more. Starting 6 weeks sooner than last season. Jason, who is the person who talked about AI LinkedIn at the Cali conference? Send me a message and I will send you who it is. What is a good dollar amount for a two-man crew to be able to complete in a day? I would say $2,000. When I had the business, we were at one person, and that was a $1,200 to $1,500 day. And then once I sold it, and they went to two-man trucks, we were shooting for 2,000 to 1,600 to $2,000. And right now, after inflation and everything, I would say probably go from $2,000 to $2,500 is what I would shoot for. And some of that depends on your cost. You know, how much are you paying your employees? What all goes into that cost? Again, almost 5 years ago, our goal was $1,500 for one guy, 1,200 to 1,500. Most of my guys could do $1,500 a day. New guys could get $1,200 a day, and that would break us even. So that's kind of where we was for that. What is the correct way to clean and treat cedar roofs? Depends on where you're at and what you're doing. You can use Green Ox, can clean it. We actually use bleach, and then we put a treatment on top of it that would seal it had like wax and different things on it. We would go up and we would hit it with bleach, and then we would go up and scrape off all the moss and crap off of it, and then we would spray a coating on top of it that would seal it, and then it had like wax and oils and different things that go back in there to help it out inside the wood. Favorite line: I see your dirty clothes. Do you want to do it, or would you like us to do it when we clean your home? Yep, you gotta ask, right? Dan and I like to be at least 3,000 for one person. Yep. Just got a YMCA. Awesome. What advice do you have for quoting large commercial jobs? This is where I struggle. So this isn't normally like how you bid houses, and so you can do it one of two ways. You can try to do it bidding by square feet. I've always done it by bidding by the job of how long I think it's going to take me. So if I see a wall and I think it's going to take me this long, I take it. I know Benjamin Gregory's at like $3 grand a day plus materials of bleach and stuff is where he's at, or maybe even more. I would 5 years ago I was at $2,000 a day. So you should get no problem $2,000 to $3,000 a day or more, right? I don't want to cap you out, but you can. The one job that I did with DJ, he bid it on the square footage, and it came out to 10 grand, and we did it in a day. We did it in like 9 hours. So that's a way that we were able to bid that job and get it done. So it just kind of depends on what their budget is too. Don't be shy to ask what their budget is. A lot of times these people will tell you what their budget is. Actually, I was just talking to Paul Gardner the other day because he was down in Florida or Gatlinburg with us, and he was going to do a sign job. He'd build signs, and he had his price, and he was ready to go with it. And the guy's like, "Yeah, and our budget's $30,000. You think in his budget that he had written on the sign was $14,000?" So he had written it at $14,000, but their budget was at $30,000. And he's like, "Can you do it for that?" Well, sure, I can do it for that. So he would have left $15,000 on the table by not trying to figure out what the budget is. Now, not everybody's going to tell you their budget, but a lot of people, if you ask, they will tell you what their budget is. And if you think you can do it within that budget, then go with it. Sometimes their budget might be higher than what you're thinking in the first place. And you may leave them, and sometimes their budget might be way lower than what you're thinking. Be like, "Man, yep, you're right. There ain't no way we can touch it for that. There's no way for everything we need, we can't clean it for that much." And so that's how you can look at how to do pricing and budgeting for pricing wise. I saw a $75 cleaning promotion on Facebook a couple weeks ago. Later, a client on his Facebook complaining that he ghosted him, everyone, and their mom. Yep, that's why you can't worry about other people. You can't worry about cheap people. Cheap people, you don't have to worry about them usually. Curitech versus Flexzilla for soft wash. Curitex is probably going to last longer. Flexzilla is a lot lighter. It's a lot easier to move around, where that Curitech is a little bit harder. The one thing I don't like about the one, well, as long as it gets the smooth one, if you get the ones with the ribs and you get bleach on your fingers, and that it starts hurting your fingers. That's one thing I don't like about it. Give me 3 more likes. I'm going to give you a place to get good cheap signs at. If you want good cheap signs, I need 3 more likes. I said I needed 30 likes, and I'll get you a good cheap place. So that way I keep my word. Guy couldn't keep up with the work. So, again, if you got any questions, put it in the comments, and I'll answer your questions here. I had a question earlier of where can I get signs? Signs are getting a little expensive. $4 a sign. I can get you cheaper than that. But I did ask if I could get 30 thumbs up. So let me get 2 more thumbs up so we can get you a place to get good, cheap signs. All right. One more. Let's see. Just got a YMCA. YMCAs are cool. There we go. All right. So where to get good, cheap signs? This is, I don't tell everybody this, but I'm going to tell you all. If you go to agegraphics.com, I think it is, that is probably where you're going to get your cheapest signs out there. AGE Graphics. Last time I was on their website, it looked old. It probably still looks old, but if you type in AGE Graphics, it will come up as, let me double check. AGE Graphics. So that is a good place to get cheap signs. It's actually cheapyardsigns.com, but if you type in there, I'm going to show you my screen, so then that way you actually can see my screen. But this is the place to get yard signs. AGE Graphics. This is a great place to get your signs. You can get them for, I think you can still get them under $3 a sign. So that is a great place to get your yard signs. Again, I got my signs here from a long time ago, and they definitely, I've, I know a lot of people that get their signs from there, but it is definitely one of the best places that I've seen to get the best yard sign prices. They're actually out of Ohio. They are very good customer service. They are good. Customer service is good too, Lindy put on there. So, yes, I agree. So, they know where I got the signs because they're one of my customers, and I tell people on my Monday night Zoom call. If you didn't know, this is stuff that I tell on my Monday night Zoom call of where to get this stuff. So if you're not a member of King of Pressure Wash, these are things that I give away to know that people in there. So if you haven't joined kingofpressurewash.com, you may want to, because this is where you learn tips and tricks like this to grow your business. Again, I think they're still under $3 a sign, as far as I know. I don't know if they went up or not. Not using marketing anymore. Not saying that I don't, because I actually make money off of using marketing sometimes, but it doesn't pay me that much to help you guys grow your business. So I'd much rather you join kingofpressurewash.com and you learn these secrets than I make a few dollars off of you going and buying signs. So that's kind of how that works. Hit the like button. I've been using Flexzilla hose for my chemical. That's okay. That's what I've done it in the past, and it's a lot lighter. Hit the like button. Your expertise and patience is much appreciated. Well, no problem. Lindy said they are good in customer service, and yes, that is AGE Graphics. If you type it up, it's actually cheap yard signage. Sign, I don't know, but I just type in AGE Graphics and it'll come up. And they're out of Portsmouth, Ohio, or somewhere like that. They get pretty quickly. Young's pressure washing. How do you find out where you can and cannot put bandit signs? You just put them out there and they will tell you where you can and can't put them. That's how that works. Thank you. So, any other questions before we jump off here? Again, go check out King of Pressure Wash. This is where I have all my membership, everything I have in there. You can, I have all the stuff. Every Monday night Zoom call, once a week, Monday night Zoom call, we come in there and we talk business. There's about anywhere from 20 to 40 people that come on, and most people are anywhere from just starting out to $500,000-$600,000, giving good information around. It is definitely something that you will get your money's worth in the end. Also, if you want to go check out the in-person training, go check out KPW Train. This is actual hands-on training. This isn't me tell you how to do it. It's actual hands-on training in a day of marketing, which is amazing. Mr. Rivertown Pro Wash Action Charge Transformation. This will be the difference between you and everyone else. Highly recommend hopping Jason's group. It is worth every penny and learning from others. Dan and I would be where we are have the limited or our mistakes because being in Jason's mentorship, invest in yourself or your business won't grow fast and effectively. Does adding more trucks to your pressure washing business hurt profitability? Yeah, it does. You may not think it does, but when you start adding more people, it kills the line to a certain point. So usually trucks 2 and 3 are the hardest. Once you get to about 4 and 5 and you're in the 1.5 million, 1.2, 1.5 million, you'll start being profitable again. A lot of people will say they're at $1 million and they're not profitable. And a lot of it is because your profit goes right out the door. Every time you're adding more trucks, you're adding more drivers, everything goes up. Like Chris last year, just in auto insurance, I think he paid $26,000 just in car insurance because he had 4 or 5 trucks. So everything goes up. Your workers' comp goes up. Everything goes up when you're in adding more trucks. So that's where, really your most profitable is one truck, maybe 1 or 2 helpfuls, until you can get to about the little over 1 million. That average ticket from about 600 to a million is one of the hardest spots because that's where you got to start hiring people to start being managers and stuff, and that's where a lot of your money goes out, and it's not being profit. So that's kind of how that works. Are CRX engines any good? I don't know. I haven't seen much of them. I personally haven't seen them or used them, and I haven't heard much about them either. So I haven't heard. I mean, obviously I like Hondas because you can run them to death, and they just keep right on running. What about a logo? I feel like I need one, but struggle to want to pay someone to make me one. Go on Fiverr, and they'll make it for you for like $5-10. Go on to what I did for all my logos, go to freelancer.com, and you can put it like $30 or $40, and make it a contest, and so all these people will start giving you a bunch of ideas, and then you can say, I like this one, but I want it changed here, and someone else will put it on there, and that's how you can get one for decent money. Always appreciate your advice. Looking forward to the Monday night call. 7 out of the 8 last Mondays I've been doing snow plowing or snow removal. And just so that you know that they're all recorded, and if you go down at the bottom, you do have to scroll pretty far down. And like if you missed last Mondays, go watch it. I promise you, it will be really good for you. I talked about LinkedIn. I actually showed a video on LinkedIn and how to use LinkedIn to get more commercial work. And I promise you, you do not want to miss that one out. Wow, better than UZ is impressive. Thank you, Jason. You're going to blow them up. Any discounts or promos for membership? I don't have anything right now. Jason, what's the name of that place for the signs again? AGE Graphics. AGE, like age. AGE Graphics. Let's see if I can pull it up here for you. AGE Graphics. If you type in AGE Graphics, it will give you this sign. And again, I know that their website looks like old as crap, but I promise you they will be your best pricing out there for yard signs and everything. Yep, AGE. What's the best time to start? My weather is still iffy. And this is one of those things, there is no like, this date is the best time to start. It's when people start mowing grass on a regular basis. When people start mowing their grass every week, that's when is the best time to get this thing on the road and going. Honda, hands down. Fiverr sucks. Yeah, I don't really care for Fiverr. I do like. I have had a lot of luck with freelancer.com. You get a logo that is exactly the same as everyone else's. Gino, take them Krispy Kreme donuts for the HOA management office. Just landed an $8,000 per year job. 2 weeks later from that. Nice. What's your optimal profit realistic? Depends, right? If you are a one-man show or if you're got employees. We really want to be anywhere from 20 to 30% of profit. Now, what does profit mean? Does profit mean that what you're making, bringing home, and it's yourself? No, because how much would it cost for you to answer the phone? How much does it cost to have a technician on the truck, right? When you start paying yourself out of all of those things, whatever you would pay that person, then whatever you have left over would be considered profit, right? And so this is where a lot of people they're like, I'm at 62% profit. Well, Yeah, are you paying yourself or are you just taking what it is, right? And so that's where it's important. And so a big thing about this is I would highly recommend you to read Profit First. If you haven't read Profit First, I would highly, 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 highly recommend you to read Profit First. Profit First is probably one of the best books that you will ever read, because if you're not making profit, why are you in business? And so he talks a lot about this. And so I would highly recommend you to read Profit First. What should my take home profit be for a one man show? I mean, it depends, right? It depends on how much money you're spending on marketing. There's no reason if you're a one man show to take home 60, 70%, because you're not going to have that much cost, right? If you did $100,000 and you spent $10,000 in marketing, so that brings us down to 90. You spent $20,000 in equipment, that brings you down to 70. You spent 10,000 and whatever, you're at $60,000. Now, you might say, well, that's only $60,000, but you're not paying for your cell phone bill because that's on to get paid through the business. You're not paying for your internet. You're not paying for all the things that's going to come out of the business. So then that way you don't want to show at the end of the year $60,000 free and cash only, right? These are perks of the benefit business that's going to come off of it, so that way you're not paying taxes on $60,000. That's kind of how that works. Jason's membership is already great price. Is commercial auto necessary? Does the personal policy not work in case of an accident? You really should have commercial auto insurance, especially if you have lettering and everything. It's just like the bank accounts. You want everything separate. The more you separate from business versus personal, if something happens over in the business, they can't get your personal. But if you have your insurance and you have your bank accounts, then they could go after everything that you have at that point, because at that point you're not truly a business. And so that's why you want to make sure the bank accounts are separate, the auto insurance is separate, everything is separate. AGE is best deal I've seen, $245 for 100 signs, 50 to 60%. Still recommend using Webbit? Not really. Um, if you join the membership, you get a free website out of it. Know anything about the Unger Hydropower Ultra One Stage? It's cheaper water filtration system on it's a cheaper water filtration system on Amazon. That one I don't know. Is it the one that has the little bags in it? I would have to go look it up. Got it. Thank you. If you price high, then your profit will be much better, obviously. Yes. My commercial insurance is about 20% less than private insurance. So, good. But, so, again, hopefully you all got some good information tonight. I know I gave away the AD. They're probably going to get a crap ton of yard signs coming to them. But if it takes a little bit longer than normal, then that's what it is. But they definitely, there's a lot of people that I know uses them. They have really good customer service. They get done quick. And it is a little bit janky on how you got to do it. It's kind of old the way you kind of either got to tell them or do the sign, and they will do it for you. It's not as easy as UZ marketing, but you'll save $1 a sign. So if you got 100, it'll save you $100, $200. So that's kind of reason why I would, like I say, UZ marketing does good, but this one is way cheaper, and they can get it to you just about as quick as anywhere else, anywhere across the country. But that's how you can, again, yard signs are awesome. I love yard signs. I would start putting them out here before too long, because your phone will start ringing. If you're going to try to grow your business, yard signs work, man. That is one method of growing a business that works over and over and over for years and years and years, right? Google has changed. Google AdWords has changed. Google's going to change more. You're going to start seeing a lot of changes coming out of Google. You're going to see a lot of changes how people search, right? A lot of people are starting to search with AI and ChatGPT and not even searching Google. And so these are all things that are going to change where yard signs still work. I hate to say it, but yard signs still work. They work amazing. It's awesome how yard signs work. Awesome. The only thing about AGE is shipping is not free. I'm in Ohio, and the shipping on 100 yard signs is $50. But yeah, but you're still paying less because it's like 247 plus 50, so you're at like 297. Otherwise, you'd be at $400. Thank you for the insight, Jason. They're about 2 weeks out, FYI. Is there a membership website I could look at for an example of what's offering? I'm trying to think who has one. Yeah. If you go to kingofmarketing.io, and you can see it's under the template website is what it is. It's the $97 one there. But if you join King of Pressure Wash, it comes with the other side of it. Honda GX390 with 4-belt GPM pulleys work with changing it out with an 8-gallon for just house washing. Yes, it will. It will only give you about 2,500 psi, but that's all you need anyway. I had one. It is hard on that little Honda G390, but it does work. So it does work. Some banks don't offer gap insurance if you finance a vehicle in your company. So if you get in an accident, you're screwed. Great information. Thank you, buddy. Yard signs work great. Put 10 yard signs out today. Good. Do you use a Google Voice number to avoid getting fines? If you're in an area that you got to worry about, I would definitely do that. I would definitely do that. And it also helps you track where you're getting the signs in at. Best platform to set up your website. I mean, it doesn't really matter anymore. WordPress is probably still the best, but it's not as big a deal as it used to be. Yard signs is especially good for the older folks who don't use Google. I got a call today for permanent lights. A guy said that he dug my sign out of the snowbank. I got 500 signs with stakes, $1,300. 2.6 a sign. That's pretty good. But other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week this week. I know the weather's starting to come around. It is supposed to rain a couple days. But other than that, I hope you all have a great night. If you want to know when I go live, if you text the word King, King, to 859-696-1101, it will allow you to every Sunday and Wednesday night when I go live, I will send a text out saying that I'm going live so you know when I'm going live. I'm going to place yard signs after Jason's finished. What's the website for yard signs? It is AGE Graphics. Type that into Google and it will come up. It's a different word of it, so that's what you need to type it into Google and it'll bring it up. Thanks, Jason. Just put out 35 yard signs this Saturday night. Awesome. So other than that, I hope you all have an amazing week, and we'll see you all later.